On this episode of Just Informed Talk, as President Trump has just ordered the full declassification and authorization for the Attorney General to declassify the information that will expose the abuse of the FISA court in the lead up to the 2016 campaign against President Trump, we're starting to find out that there's so much more to this story. This goes all the way back to 2012, where the Obama administration is alleged to have started using the surveillance tools of the intelligence community to weaponize against their political adversaries and the American people. You guys are going to want to stick around to check that out, plus a whole lot more. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. I always like to begin by saying thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure it's bell for notifications, and hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. So we are still waiting in a holding pattern for the next Q post. We had a whole big set of Q drops the other day. Just 2 days ago, you guys are going to want to go back to the channel here. If you want to get caught up, watch these last few videos. That'll give you all the info you need about what's going on, how to get caught up, all that good stuff. But just to say it, to summarize it up, it is a lot of information to digest here. And we're actually going through it piece by piece, episode by episode. So if you're not watching these episodes regularly, you need to get to doing it, in my opinion. And the way YouTube works, they're not suggesting this content. You know, they're forwarding the left-wing mainstream propaganda. That's what they forward to you guys. If you guys go look in the suggested videos to this video, after this video, you're never going to see one of my videos being suggested for you to watch after you've just watched one of my videos. Even if you watch my videos every time they come out, you will never, ever be suggested one of my videos by YouTube and their draconian Orwellian system where their machine learning, quote unquote, tends to just suppress people's speech. And anyway, I don't want to get on a full tangent about that, but suffice it to say that you guys should watch these videos and share them on your social media to get the word out there. And if you're scratching your head going, what is QAnon and what's this guy talking about? I always encourage everyone to come back here, watch this video. What is QAnon, the Great Awakening? It'll give you all the information you need to know about what QAnon is and the Great Awakening and how to get involved and how to find the information. But please do me a favor and share these links, because I just got to keep stressing that, because it's me and a bunch of other creators who are doing the job that the mainstream media should be doing. If they're reporting the news as it should be reported, there'd be no need for this. But here we are, because they lie and they won't tell you the truth and they won't report on the issues that matter. Instead, they actually do an incredible job at trying to run flack for the people who have committed these offenses against our nation, who are the ones who are truly corrupt. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, as I said, we're picking up right where we left off. And why are we picking up right where we left off? Well, we always do that. But more importantly, DNI Coates, the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates, is somebody I want to focus on real quick, because we're going to start talking about these incredible stories that are coming out. Now, as President Trump has gone and released the full authority for declassification to the Attorney General with regard to the investigation of collusion, quote unquote, in the meddling in the 2016 presidential election, that is going to basically unravel. It's like the thread that'll unravel the sweater here. That's what we're really coming up against, because as you can see, this is a story that's just coming out that's very comprehensive reporting from the conservativetreehouse.com, and this is a very fascinating article because it links so many things together. But the headline says pretty much all. It says the Obama administration, evidence of the Obama administration's political surveillance beginning mid-2012. Now, this is a very long article, so I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I'm going to go down to the summary because it kind of puts everything in perspective. And we're going to watch a little clip that they attached down here of the Admiral Mike Rogers giving testimony in front of Capitol Hill. But sorry for jumping around here so much, but I want to read this section here where it talks about how it all comes together here in 2019. And it says, this is out of this report. And to kind of summarize the report up till now, what it's outlining is the fact that President Obama didn't just start spying on President Trump right before the election, and that the abuse of the surveillance tools in from the intelligence community had been going on, and there's evidence of it since almost 2012. And it talks about the fact that Section 702 provisions for unmasking as far as FISA court and FISA intelligence community data collection were completely circumvented by the Obama administration and his lackeys, for lack of a better term, who helped him to spy on not only his political enemies but also the American people in more of in what you would call basically a dragnet surveillance state, where he was actually and his administration and individuals in his administration, allegedly Obama's administration, were unmasking individuals and abusing the intelligence, the surveillance tools of the intelligence community. And this is documented and highlighted by not only mountains of evidence inside of this article, but you're going to hear from Admiral Mike Rogers testifying on Capitol Hill, like I said. So let's just read this. It says, how does this all come together in 2019? It says Fusion GPS was not hired in April 2016 to research Donald Trump. As shown in the evidence provided by the FISA court, the intelligence community was already doing surveillance and spy operations. The Obama administration already knew everything about the Trump campaign and were monitoring everything by exploiting the FISA database. However, after the NSA alerts in around March 9, 2016, and particularly after the April 18th shutdown of contractor access, the Obama intelligence community needed Fusion GPS to create a legal, albeit ex post facto, justification for the pre-existing surveillance and spy operations. Fusion GPS gave them that justification in the Steele dossier. So look, this is crazy. This one little sentence here, paragraph, whatever, is explaining everything that Obama had been, and his administration, his intelligence heads, and his DOJ, FBI were all in the know on the fact that President Obama was abusing this system, the surveillance system, for his own benefit. And then once he got caught by Admiral Rogers in March of 2016, roughly, when they started using it more and more because they were getting more and more worried about President Trump, and they were trying to dig more and more on him specifically and others, including Ted Cruz, according to QAnon, that abuse put up a bunch of red flags. And then all of a sudden, Admiral Mike Rogers goes, who is this Dennis Montgomery? Who is Dennis Montgomery? Dennis Montgomery is the whistleblower who came forward for basically to James Comey's FBI in 2015 with, I think, 47 hard drives, I think millions of documents worth of evidence showing that Obama had been abusing this surveillance tool since before the first allegations started arising from the NSA, that had been ongoing for quite some time. And so what does Admiral Rogers do? Well, the first thing he does is he shuts down contractor access. That would be people like Dennis Montgomery, who were using this intelligence and setting it up at the White House Communications Agency for the Obama administration for him to use basically without any restriction. He was using it, unmasking anybody, because there's certain protocols that are put forth in this surveillance tool so that you can keep people's identities secret, but they were unmasking everyone they were surveilling. And so you take that and then you put it up against the fact that the Obama intelligence community started this Fusion GPS Steele dossier so they could have a predicate for having done what they already did. What Admiral Rogers already said, look, you guys were illegally using this surveillance tool. And they go, no. Don't you see Crossfire Hurricane, Operation Crossfire Hurricane, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, UK intelligence, SIS, MI6, MI5, Australian intelligence. We have this operation going on. You don't even know about it. It's a big Russian thing. We just started it after you found out, but it was why we were doing this in the first place, obviously. That's the whole thing. This is literally the story they want you to believe. I'm not making it up. It says that's why the FBI's small group, which later transitioned into the Mueller team, are so strongly committed to and defending the formation of the Steele dossier and its dubious content. The Steele dossier contains the cover story and justification for the pre-existing surveillance operation. During a rather innocuous podcast discussion panel, April 12, 2019, one of President Trump's personal lawyers, Jay Sekulow, mentioned the FBI had 3 FISA applications denied by the FISA court in 2016. The denials were always suspected, however. Until now, no one in around the administration has ever confirmed. If Sekulow is accurate, this adds additional context to the actions of the FBI in the aftermath of Admiral Mike Rogers and increased urgency in gaining legal justification for surveillance and spy operation unlawfully taking place. A valid visa warrant, a FISA warrant, would help the FBI cover up the surveillance. The likely targets were Manafort, Flynn, and Papadopoulos, but it appears the DOJ FBI were rebuked. So now the plot thickens. President Trump's own lawyer right here, it says, is telling us that they were trying to get these FISA applications basically post-fact or after the fact so that they could say, look, we had to do all this because, we were investigating Manafort and Flynn and Papadopoulos. This is, I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. You couldn't write a better movie. This is just the facts as they're coming out. It says these FISA court denials would then initiate institutional panic dependent on the election outcome. An insurance policy would be needed. So this was the predicate for the insurance policy. They couldn't clear the FISA court to basically cover their tracks in their illegal abuse of the surveillance tools. So they had to have an insurance policy, which was the Steele dossier, which was Fusion GPS, and so on. And now let's hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, where he basically goes over how this all came to light. You guys want to check this out.
Rogers, this spring, NSA decided to stop doing about queries. That was a long conversation that's happened there. It's now come out in the public about that conversation, that was identified as a problem. The court agreed with that, and that has been stopped. What I need to ask you is, who first identified that as a problem?
The National Security Agency did.
Okay, so how did you report that? Reported that to who? How did that conversation go once you identified we're uncomfortable with this type?
So in 2016, I had directed our Office of Compliance, let's do a fundamental baseline review of compliance associated with 702.
Okay.
We completed that effort. My memory is I was briefed on something like October the 20th. That led me to believe the technical solution that we put in place is not working with the reliability that's necessary here. I then, from memory, went to the Department of Justice and then on to the FISA court at the end of October. I think it was something like the 26th of October, and we informed the court we have a compliance issue here, and we're concerned that there's an underlying issue with the technical solution we've put in place. We told the court we were going to need some period of time to work our way through that. The court granted us that time. In return, the court also said, we will allow you to continue 702 under the 16 authorizations, but we will not reauthorize 17 until you show us that you have addressed this. We then went through an internal process, interacted with the Department of Justice as well as the court, and by March, we had come to a solution that the FISA court was comfortable with. The court then authorized us to execute that solution and also then granted us authority for the 702 effort.
So you reported initially to the court this is an issue, or the court initially came to you and said we have an issue?
I went to the court and said we have an issue.
And the court said we agree, we have a problem as well?
Jack.
And then it got held up, went through the process of review, and the court is now signed off on the other 16.
That is correct.
So how does this harm your collection capabilities to be able to not do the about collections?
So I acknowledge that in doing this, we were going to lose some intelligence value, but my concern was I just felt it was important. We needed to be able to show that we are fully compliant with the law. And the technical solution we had put in place, I just didn't think was generating the level of reliability. And as a result of that, I said, we need to make the change. I will say this, and the FISA's court opinion also says the same thing. I also told the court at the time, if we can work that technical solution in a way it generates greater reliability, I would potentially come back to the Department of Justice and the court to recommend that we reinstitute it. And in fact, the court acknowledged that in their certification.
When you say greater reliability, tell me what you mean by that.
Because it was generating errors. Our Office of Compliance highlighted the specific number of cases in 2016. And I thought to myself, clearly it's not working as we think it is. We were doing queries unknowingly to the operator in a handful of situations against U.S. persons. And I just said, hey, that is not in accordance with the intent of the law.
Yeah, clearly it's not.
Did you guys hear that? This is the exact conversation that Admiral Rogers had with President Trump about 10 days after he was elected in Trump Tower, where he said, look, they are spying on you. They're using the entire weight of the U.S. intelligence community to spy on you and everyone you know and everyone affiliated with your campaign because they're trying to derail you, sir. Unbelievable. Plus, Eric Snowden was sent in to infiltrate the NSA from the CIA so that he could expose their surveillance tools so that they could be abused. I mean, that all makes perfect sense now. I mean, think about the timing, 2012, right after the leak of all that information, and all of a sudden we have these documents and this evidence that's showing the Obama administration started their surveillance around that time. So it was all an operation. So the operation was to steal the NSA surveillance technology, give it to the clowns. The clowns then gave it to Obama. Then Obama used it and broke all the rules while using it. Do you see how simple this is? I'm going to leave a link to this story if you guys want to read it. And now you have, of course, Brennan and Clapper. They're all lashing out at Trump for declassifying the 2016 election intel. So why are they so scared? Why are they saying our sources and methods are going to be exposed? And why are they so worried about that? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's because they weren't doing anything, above the board. They were doing everything as illegal as you could possibly do it, as far as allegedly speaking, what we've learned so far. So this is like, I mean, the saddest thing is too, I get so upset because, for instance, right? Here's a great example. You have John Brennan on with Chris Maddow. Chris Hayes. They're kind of interchangeable. But you have him coming on this show as the senior intelligence advisor, analyst, whatever, probably getting paid, I don't know, about $3,000 an episode just to go sit there and lie to the American people. The money I'm not as upset about. What I am upset about is the simple fact that, like I was saying about the suggested videos, so you're never going to see a video from this channel suggested, right? You're never going to see, and you know what? That does incredible damage to my ability, to the ability of this content to reach, individuals who need to hear it. And it's not just me, trust me, it's a lot of others. And a lot of other people have gotten a lot worse, where their platform just gets completely taken from them and they get unpersoned. Their bank account gets taken away. Their Twitter account gets taken away. Their Facebook account gets taken away. Their YouTube account gets taken away. They basically should go live in a box at that point because they're not given anything. Everything has been taken away from them in this Orwellian dystopia that we are slowly slipping into. And this guy's getting $3,000 an episode to get on this network, which is going to be recommended to you, I'm sure, 1,000 times by YouTube to watch their clips of their propaganda that's lying to you. And I'm here telling you the truth, and they're the ones punishing me for it, and everyone like me who's doing this work. So somebody please explain to me who at YouTube is deciding what qualifies for being suggested in the next video. So, because if this is being suggested to people, then I would contend that your whole system is broken and you need to start over and start doing it fairly with an idea of your non-discrimination in your heads and facts and objective truth maybe, and not speculative stuff like, look, I'm not going to deny I speculate a lot, but I tell you when it's speculation. I don't get on national TV and lie to your face and tell you it's the truth like these people do. But that's just a little rant. I want to watch this clip of my best friend who I love and I affectionately call Raisin-Faced Turd Muffin, the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. Let's hear what he has to say about all of this, because it's just going to be fascinating, I'm sure.
How big a deal do you read the portion of the executive order last night that appears to give Barr the unilateral authority to declassify?
Well, I see it as a very, very serious and outrageous move on the part of Mr. Trump, once again, trampling upon the statutory authorities of the Director of National Intelligence and the heads of the independent intelligence agencies. And
trampling on this is insanity. You're an unelected bureaucrat. You were removed from your position. You have no authority, and the people who are in power, the one who have been selected by the president, like the attorney general, he's giving the authority to declassify the information, which you've been begging for forever. But now, all of a sudden, President Trump's going to destroy our country because he's going against the unelected bureaucracy of Dan Coats in the director of national intelligence position. And these people are just, I can't even. All right, let's keep watching.
It's unclear to me what Mr. Barr actually is going to do. Is he investigating a crime? Well, what's the predication of that crime? Or
The predication of the crime is everything I just outlined. You and Obama and the rest of your ilk abused the FISA courts. You abused the hammer, which was a surveillance tool from the NSA. Admiral Rogers caught you doing it, and then you went and tried to get a FISA court warrant to cover your own butt, but that was denied. So then you decided it would be a good idea to make up this whole Russia collusion hoax with which you use and weaponize that fake, phony dossier to go after the president, to try to unseat a duly elected president, and to meddle in not only the 2016 election, but also the 2018 election and presumably the 2020 election. Is there any other charges or any other indictments that we can levy? Please let me know in the comments.
is he just going to be looking for information? I think, as you rightly pointed out at the top, that Mr. Trump can just give to some of his defenders on the right and cherry pick information that could be taken out of context. But I think more fundamentally,
nobody's cherry picking information. Every piece of information has been well sourced and well documented, and it shows with ultimate certainty that you guys were 99% probably involved in illegally spying. I'm not going to go 100% because I'll leave that for a court of law to decide. But as far as the mountains of circumstantial evidence and evidence that's building, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, you guys abused the surveillance state, you weaponized it, and you used it to try to take out a duly elected president and try to enact a soft coup. We're not some third world country, you sick person. I don't understand how you sleep at night with this kind of, when you lie like this and you betrayed our country. Could somebody please answer me in the comments? I know I'm getting a little upset, but it's just, everything about this is so wrong. Everything about this is so wrong, but they just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie.
the concern is that very, very precious and sensitive sources and methods of the United States intelligence community, as well as our partners and allies abroad, those who share this sensitive information with us. Is Mr. Barr, who doesn't have an understanding of the equities involved, is he just going to release information that he deems...
He doesn't have an idea of the equities involved, meaning he doesn't have an idea of the sources and methods. Okay, so what sources and methods? Oh, that you used Alexander Downer and Christopher Steele from the UK intelligence and the Australian intelligence to basically create a fake dossier that was used to try to steal an election from our now President Trump. I mean, this is beyond me. I'm getting to the point where it's like, I don't even know how much more I can keep watching. Let's keep going.
Appropriate for Mr. Trump's defense. So this is very serious, and I know that my former colleagues in the intelligence agencies are looking upon this with great concern and worry.
Okay, I've had enough of that. Yeah, great concern and worry. Yeah, we're all very concerned and worried for you, John. Very concerned and worried. Look, this is beyond me. This is where it's getting off the rails. Like President Trump says, there's two tracks you can take, and I think these people have decided to go on the track that is going to end up getting derailed in their quest to try to prove their innocence, I guess. But I mean, gosh, you know what? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. We'll wait till the indictments come. We'll wait till a court of law or a military tribunal comes and offers a judgment on this. But you know, I'm sickened, just sickened. But I had to share it because we have to cover this information here. And like I said, you guys need to share it because it's the information that the mainstream media does not want you to see. They won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. And you know what's even more frustrating about it is that as we continue down this path, we have all of these people who are, getting on TV and just making these telling these flippant lies. That's what I'm most upset about. But that to me is where we're going to go ahead and leave it. A few things before we go. Obviously, a couple ways you can help out the channel. Obviously, come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, watch these videos, share them on your social media, hit that like button if you guys like this content, want to see me make more, and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. As I said, I want to hear what you guys have to think about all this stuff because this is just we're getting into the realm of just absurdity at this point. where the media is going so far out. They're doing so many mental gymnastics to try to put this narrative together that's just completely improbable. Occam's razor should be applying here, in this sense that, the simplest solution's probably right. But that, to me, is something I always leave for you guys to decide on your own. A few other ways you can help out the channel. Obviously, come over here and find me first come find President Trump on Twitter, because he's always doing incredible stuff, which is always fun to check out. Lots of information here. Even Lisa Mae Crowley was doing this whole thing I thought was fascinating about how Q had told us all the way back this new age of enlightenment was a post that we got, I don't know, it was back in November of 2017. And now President Trump just tweeted yesterday, this is a bright new age of enlightenment. So, we all know what's going on here, and we know the lies that we're up against. It's just like, at this point, check out Trump's Twitter, check out whoever, Lisa Mae, and check out, obviously, Just Inform You on Twitter. That would be the Just Inform Talk page, at Just Inform You. And yeah, you guys come give me a like, follow, all that cool stuff. That always helps out, and I really appreciate it. It's a cool place to have a conversation otherwise. And don't forget to check out justinformnews.com, the official website for Just Inform Talk. Get links to different Q sites, links to different news outlets. Also, you get links to breaking news, and of course, the videos from the channel are here. So that's a cool tool for you guys to use. A couple of ways you can help out are both financial. Come over here to Patreon, patreon.com. It's a crowdfunding website, monthly donation. Link will be in the description, patreon.com/justinformtalk. Click this button to become a patron. It's a monthly donation. Set it and forget it. I know you're helping create content on this channel. Honestly, this channel would never have survived as long as it has without you guys and your support. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, I have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. That helps out big as well. So thank you so much to everybody who comes and contributes. That really means the world to me. And today I'm going to read a few Proverbs to you for our ending segment, which we do. It's called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace now is truly greater. And I couldn't even think of like how God is so serendipitous that I was just happened to be flipping through and reading, and I stumbled on these Proverbs that really spoke to what I think we're up against here, and kind of what we have to remember for ourselves. And it's Psalm 28, and I think I'm going to read up to 6, 1 through 6. It says, "The wicked flee when no one is pursuing them, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a land is in rebellion, it has many rulers, but with a discerning and knowledgeable person, it endures. A destitute leader who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no food. Those who reject the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law battle against them. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand everything. Better a poor man who lives with integrity than a rich man who distorts right and wrong." Man, that's the way I try to live my life. I'm not perfect, okay? And I'm not sitting here preaching to you guys from some high horse where I think I'm so much better than everyone, especially like these people do that we cover here on the channel, who just, the arrogance and the way that they act is just like, you can just tell that there seems to be a complete lack of humility before God. But I do my best in my life to be the opposite of that, and I encourage you all to do the same. And remember that some of the things I thought were cool about this when I read it was talking about how when a land's in rebellion, it has many rulers, but with a discerning and knowledgeable person, it endures. And that kind of speaks to me about what President Trump's trying to do. You look at the left, they have many leaders. Nobody's taking responsibility. Unlike President Trump, who's taken full responsibility and said, you can put the blame on me and you can put the success on me because I take responsibility for this. But nobody wants to do that on the left, and especially on the side of the people who were just trying to destroy this country from within, in my humble opinion. And another part that really stands out to me was the last two lines where it says, "Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand everything." And it says, "Better a poor man who lives with integrity than a rich who distorts right and wrong." And that sums everything up. Like, that sums everything up about what I'm talking about here with these guys and other evil that exists in the world. I mean, it's really just one of those things where integrity is what we can depend on, regardless of whether we have all the power in the world or not. That's what it's saying. So integrity, righteousness, standing up for what's right, standing up against evil, those are the things that we are called to. And I just want you all to remember to be bold as a lion in your righteousness and your love of God. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. Obviously, come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and there's a little like button. It's a thumbs up button. Go hit it, smash it, punch it, whatever. When you do that, it lets me know you like this content and want to see more. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.